Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Kim here, and today is our Antonio Makes Monday, and we are still working on Christmas packaging, and so I have another fun project for you today. Now before we get started, I am going to say that this is the last Antonio Makes Monday video I will be doing before Christmas. I'm hoping to start again in the new year. Hope you like everything so far, Antonio, and that I can continue with you because I love it. But I'm taking the rest of the month off to do my own Christmas thing and, do my packaging and shopping and, checking my list twice. And so, this will be the last one before Christmas, and I will start again probably the second week of January, everything permitting, of course. But yeah, let's have some fun for today. So what is today's project? Well, first of all, I'm working in Antonio's Sweet Treats kit, his Christmas sweet treats. It's a lovely kit. And, it's almost like I feel like he designed this for me because I have the biggest sweet tooth ever, which is why this is perfect for a lot of my packaging ideas. And so the packaging idea we're going to make, and I'm going to show you the finished result first, and then we will go into making it, is this cute little box. It's made with a 12 by 12 piece of paper. It's not difficult to do. We're gonna do part of it online. Don't worry, I won't put you through the whole thing. But it's a great little open box, and there's so many different uses. For starters, a box like this is perfect if you have a coffee station. At Christmas time, a lot of people set up little hot chocolate and coffee stations where they have all the mugs and the coffee maker and, the hot chocolate and the peppermint and candies and wafers and all those things together to make yourself a fancy coffee or a fancy hot chocolate. And so there's lots of little components, there's chocolate covered spoons, there's candy canes, there's, and there's cookies, of course, that, and all kinds of little goodies to eat with your hot chocolate and your coffee. So you need lots of little containers and things to put stuff into. So one of my first thoughts is this is the perfect little box to hold different flavors of hot chocolate. You can stack them up there, maybe add a couple of candy canes. It keeps them upright and nicely contained, and then people can easily flip through and get different flavors. Now, this box is made out of 12 by 12, and the main component is you need to be able to divide the sides into threes. So you could make a 9 by 9, which would leave you a 3-inch box. This is a 4-inch box or opening. So you could have a 9 by 9 piece of cardstock, and you can make a 3-inch square box, or you can have a 6 by 6 and make a 2-inch square box. So you have to be able to divide the whole paper up into threes in both directions. So that's the first thing that comes to mind, is to use it as a container. It could be a container full of chocolates. That would be my favorite container. Bring it on. It could be filled with cookies, although you may want to put a plastic bag and just have it slide over the side. Maybe a cellophane bag so it would look pretty, and then you could close it up, at times a day when the cookies aren't being taken. Because if you have cats or dogs who might go and try and slip one, it'd be nice to close the bag up afterwards as well. But it's just a nice little presentation box for that. But it's also a nice gift presentation box. So if you can imagine taking a box like this in the 4x4 size and slipping one piece of tissue inside here. You could put a coffee cup in here or a hot chocolate cup, and you can fill it with hot chocolates and again add some candies and peppermints, and what a pretty presentation that is. Isn't that easy? And look how easy it is to just make the gift. And the fun part about it that I like the most is this is all gathered together with a piece of string. So the sides, I've got glitter everywhere. The sides are open. You could close them with washi tape if you wanted to, or, sort of paper mache with more of the same paper around the sides to close it off completely. But you can also take it apart to put away. So if you're one of those people who likes to reuse your packaging or your decorations, this is a great way to just fold it up and put it away for another season. Or if you are the recipient, look how easy that is to pull together. Now, I love the fact that I could tie these together with twine, because twine you can buy for, what, $1 or $2 at the dollar store, and there's a lot of mileage. And there's something about packages tied up with string, right? We all want to sing that as soon as we hear it, our favorite things. And you can dress these up further, but why? It's beautiful as it is. You don't need anything else. You don't need any extra headaches to, but if you really, really wanted to add something on, I'd add a set of jingle bells, because that just makes it a little bit fun. But you can dress them up further if you like. It's entirely up to you. But for today's video, I'm just showing you this simple way, because brown paper packages tied up with string is it's a fun thing to do and so simple to make. So I'm not going to put you through the whole thing, but I am going to just give you the quick rundown of how to make these. And so I have my scoreboard here and a 12 by 12 piece of paper. So because it's 12 by 12 and I need to divide it in 3, that means it has to be 4 inches, 8 inches, and then 12, like 4 and 8. But you're never 101% if you've gone in the right line, if it's supposed to be the one over here that looks like 4, if it's the one over here that looks like 4. Everybody's scoreboard is different. And sometimes pieces of paper, even though it looks like it's 12 inches, it's 12 and 1/32. So if I were to score at 4 and 8, there is a chance that I might be out on the other side. So what I usually do is I put my stylus into the 4. Normally I do this standing up, so this is risky. So I've scored it all the way down. I hope you can see that. And then I turn the paper and I do the next set of 4. And I just use the same spot to score on all the sides. This way, no matter what, if the paper isn't perfectly 12 by 12, and if you haven't gone in the right hole, from 4 to 8, then at least your sides are all going to be the same based on where you've put it here, or where you've scored it in the one spot, so that all of your lines will line up together. And so the next thing I do is I fold on those lines, just to give it a good crease in the lines. So far it's not too intense, is it? And it's not too painful to watch if you're a seasoned person. Okay, so you can now see the individual squares. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut out the 4 corners so that we're left with what looks like a plus sign. Now, when I cut out the corners, I go slightly on the inside of the fold, just so you don't have those fold bunchy crease lines showing up on your piece. And I'm going to be making a lot of these. So, just so I didn't have to make you wait, there's my 4 pieces cut out of the 12 by 12 paper. And I'm left with what looks like a plus sign, or a big kiss, however you want to call it. Although I think I like the kiss, don't you? Big X. So now your 4 sides can fold up. And all of these sides and the bottoms are approximately 4 inches by 4 inches, which is what your 12 by 12 paper would produce. So then I took my sheets and I picked out 3 that I liked. And because you have 5 sides here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares, you also have 5 squares on the outside. So you need 10 pieces that are slightly less than 4 inches by 4 inches. So I went with 3.75 by 3.75. Now, because of the margins and, the size of the paper, in our case is 8.5 by 11. It's different in the UK. It's different in the United States too. I'm not sure. I really could only get 4 out of a sheet, which is why I needed 3 different designs in order to make my box. So that means I get 2 or 4 coming out, and then I have 1 long piece that's left over, sort of like this at the end. I save those and put those aside because we've got some other projects that we can do with them. So I chose my different papers that I want to use on the box, and I've got some pre-cut already, and they are about 3.75 by 3.75, and there is a reason for that. Excuse me. I wanted them to fit inside the space nicely. Oh, these are a little bit longer. I think I hadn't trimmed the other end off. Let's double check. Yeah, I hadn't trimmed off that little margin piece that was left on the bottom. Sorry, I'm just going to trim that up. Actually, I'll just use the other 2 for now. So I wanted them to fit nicely in the 4 inch by 4 inch square for 2 reasons. One, I didn't want, in case I missed gluing it somewhere, that it would pick off because it was overhanging. Like if you make it exactly 4 inches by 4 inches, you have to worry that you didn't quite catch the edges. Whereas if it's a little tucked in a little bit more, then you have a nicer framed piece. It allows you to see the contrast, which is nice. It gives you a little bit more of a pop, which you can see on here. And then I inked the edges, and I inked them because if you watch Antonio's video, oh no, I can't remember what it was. Oh, it was when he was making his Christmas cards. He said you want your cookies to be a little bit burnt along the edges. And that is so true. So I'm going to first glue this down. I have my glue stick here handy. Going right to the edges. I glue right on my paper only because I know that the glue is going to dry clear anyway. Okay, that looks like it reasonably fits. The other thing you have to be mindful of constantly is that your paper is going in the right direction. Because this is your box, so you want your papers to face upwards if they're directional papers. So I'm going to put one on this side. I was kind of doing them 2 opposite and 2 opposite, and then the inside bottom and outside bottom. And just having some fun with it. Yeah, I liked how Antonio had said in his last video, you want your cookies to be just a little bit burnt on the edges, because that's how we make them when we make our cookies. They're just a little bit darker on the edges. And that is so very true, isn't it? And I like to really make sure that my paper is stuck down there, so I use my glue cap. And then taking my ink, now I use right off of this ink pad, but you can see the edges of the paper here, and I'm just going around a little bit. Around the edges. This isn't a really juicy ink pad, so it I can do this without worrying that it's going to have too much ink in any particular spot. So it gives it a real, just like a cookie would. You know, the bottoms are a little bit darker and along the edges. So there's Antonio's burnt cookie look. So I could continue gluing all of these sides, but you know, I'd lose you and you'd be running off and fast forwarding, and then you wouldn't see the whole video. So yeah, I did one. Now this one I did in green. I've curled it up a little bit. I've done it in greens because I love the green holly in here. And it was just so fun to mix the patterns. They're all going in the right direction when you put the box together. And so there it is where I have my burnt cookie look on the outside. I just love that. And so my plus sign, or my big kiss, however you want to say it, is ready for the next stage. So the next stage, and this is how quickly it is. I mean, you saw me put 2 pieces of paper. I just had to do 8 more. Now I'm just going to take and make some holes. I'm going to hole punch, and this one you have to stay for the whole thing. I'm just going to hole punch in the 4, or in the top corners of the 4 walls of my piece. And so just going around the sides. And just a little moment of silence while I do the other 2 pages. And I've been working with this brown string for so many things, things that you haven't seen that have been off camera. So one of the tricks that I have learned is either you can take a little bit of your glue stick and let the glue dry on there, but I'm just using my hot glue. And I'm just putting a little bit of glue on there. But this is risky. If you are not one who can handle this, then don't do it. And I just rolled it with my fingers so that it holds all the edges together. And I can weave it in and out of my project. So I start on the outside. No, I started on the inside. Yeah, I started on the inside. We could do either way, actually. But I started on the inside. Sorry, I've got too many things in the way here. And went through the hole. And I just leave my string attached to my roll. And I started on the one corner and then went, what did I do here? Oh, yeah. I did that wrong. Start on the outside. I said, Kim, on the outside, not on the inside. And then you go on the inside, and you'll figure it out when you're doing these yourself. Because you want to end up on the outside for a couple of reasons. But you can do it on the inside. And I'm just going back and to the inside, back on the outside. And putting that little bit of glue on the edge of your string just sure makes a difference as far as tying it up goes. And being able to go in and out the corners all the way around. And then you end up on the outside because you started on the outside. And let's pull these all together. And when you're pulling them together, you can actually feel when the box just clicks together. And it's, now I had left this sitting, so it's a little bit curled here. I'll just have to bend it back in place. And then I left about 2 12-inch long tails. So you could measure around and then add 12 inches because it would be, well, 12 and then another 24. So about 36 inches or a yard. So then I just, you know, did a slip knot and then turned it into a double knot. The whole idea being that you want to be able to undo these afterwards if you want to save them. Or, you know, you can tell the recipient that they can take it apart and put it together for next year for another gift. And just like that, you have another box. So it is such a nice way to make a quick presentation, you know, especially when you're dealing with kids. They want to get into the present. They don't want to have to, like, they're ripping paper and they don't care. So this way, if you have some open gifts, you might be able to save some of the packaging for next year. Because we know how expensive packaging for Christmas can be. And this is a great way to give a gift to, you know, someone where maybe it's some hot chocolate and some candies and a nice little mix by just adding in a piece of tissue. And then adding in whatever your gift is going to be. So a lovely presentation, a couple of bells on the end of your ribbon, or, you know, a tag or some little decoration, and that's entirely up to you, and you've got an instant gift. Now, just from personal experience, you're not going to put anything super heavy in here because it's paper. Because if it was something super heavy, it would mostly likely be in a box, and the paper would just be for decorating the box. So it would be the box is what would hold it together. So you have to be mindful that you don't want to put anything too heavy. And like I said, you can close the sides if you don't want to reuse it again. Easy enough with some washi tape, or like I said, by doing kind of a paper mache around the outside with additional wrapping paper, your digital paper. But for the most part, it's going to be something lightweight. And the reason I say that is you may think, I would like to have a handle on this. And you can. You can make 2 holes on the sides and put a ribbon through to make a handle for it. But it depends on what you're putting in it. And I think this is the type of gift that you're holding on to and you're presenting it. And, you know, the whole thing is about the glory of the tissue and everything looking pretty. And you can have, you know, sparkly things and candy canes on here. So it's not so much to carry it like you're going to somebody's house, but you're presenting it. So that's my method. I choose not to put handles on these because I think they look nice just the way they are, and they make such a pretty presentation. And you can stack them on top of other gifts for another presentation. It just looks so pretty. So that's my video for today. However, we have those leftover pieces. We have the leftover pieces of paper because we've got these nice long strips that are not quite 3.75 inches. But, you know, it depends on the size of your box you're making. If you're making a smaller box, then, of course, you would have your papers cut differently. But I left some of them long, and then some of them I cut in half because I had these 4-inch squares that were left over from cutting out the stuff to make my little kiss. So what I did is I took this leftover paper, cut it in half, and then glued it down. Now, when you glue it down, you're going to have this little strip to cut off. So just taking my glue stick again. Everything rolls around on my table. I'm convinced that my table must be on an angle going that way because everything rolls in that direction. So I just glued this down, and I took my scissors and just trimmed it to give it that same kind of margin, not being too concerned about it being perfect. And then cutting the corners to make it into a tag. Turn it over, do the same on the other side. Now, if you weren't watching, I just cut them by hand, but because you're watching, I used the other one to measure. And this time I'm going to use my hole punch with the bigger hole instead of the small hole. And I've made the top corners, and I'm just going to round corner the bottom corners to make a basic gift tag. And then I'm going to give it the burnt cookie look. By just inking around the edges to give it that little aged look. And the same string. So the theme this year for Christmas is going to be Sweet Treats Vintage Christmas. I'm going to show you all the things that I make with Antonio's kits, because I'm going to just use Antonio's kits. Well, that's not true. I've got some of Caroline's stuff too. I'll be doing some goodies with Caroline's kits as well. But I have some packaging that I'll be doing with Antonio's kits, and I will show you everything when it's all put together. So now I have this beautiful large gift tag to put on a gift, and you know, it took 2 seconds. So why are you buying those ugly stickers that, you know, they come in these large packages, and you're paying extra money, and you've got leftovers right here, and you can make something that's personal. Again, add some jingle bells, add a little bit of a decoration, or even just attach a real candy cane. Something they can eat. It's a sweet treat, or a cookie on top. You could put a cookie in a little cello bag and attach it right onto the front of this. So a cookie will fit very nicely. A butter tart, some little of those macaroons that people make at Christmas. Oh, I love those. So you can use this for all kinds of things, or you can use it to decorate a brown paper package tied up with string. So that's my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm just going to clear off this table here and show you these beautiful packages that are so easy to make. And like I said, I will do a much better presentation for you when I've got all of my packaging done. And have some fun. Have some fun making simple, fast, easy, and incredibly beautiful packaging. Now, these are all digitals from Antonio's kits, and that's why we're doing this whole series. This was for Antonio Makes. He has a website where he sells all his digitals. If you go to his website and you purchase, be sure to put in the code KIM, K-I-M in capital letters, and the number 10, 10, into the coupon code, and you will get 10% off. You are not only helping Antonio Makes his site. I get a commission from it. You get a discount, and then you have the opportunity to make some simple and fast and easy decorations like this and packaging your gifts. And excuse me just for a second. If that's not enough, Antonio Makes also has a Facebook page. If you join his Facebook page, every single day from now till December 25th, 25 days of Christmas, Antonio is giving you a freebie every day. And they're not all Christmas. He's done, he did a really nice baking one the other day, and my favorite was the butterflies. Oh, I love that one. So every day he's giving away a free freebie for 25 days. You know, if you added that up at $1 a piece, that's $25 right there. So why not go back and buy his kit and make all your Christmas decorations, and then the gifts keep coming because you get the discount and you get 25 days of more freebies. So take advantage of it while you can. These boxes, I know, Antonio, I'm going to be looking for new things for spring so we can make some Valentine boxes to put chocolates in. Oh, wouldn't these be cute with that? These would make great baby gift packaging, or, you know, just little because gifts, little birthday presents, all kinds of things. So Antonio, looking for some of this stuff in the future, maybe 4x4s. So keep that in mind, you guys, and stay tuned for anything that Antonio might make, because it's always going to be awesome. Have yourself a very great day and a great week, a very creative week. Tomorrow is my Techniques Tuesday. That's also going to be the last one from now until the end of the month, and you do not want to miss that one. It will sort of tie into Christmas packaging. That's all I can tell you. But it is so fun, so simple. It's just going to blow you away. So tune in for that one for tomorrow, and I will see you all soon. Bye for now.